Shalom. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, I want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And Shalom to the elect of the nation, the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. And I'm going to go in on Exodus, the 4th chapter, basically going in on when Yahawah called Moses to be the prophet and the one who was going to deliver his people out of Egypt, ancient Egypt, right? So before I start into Exodus 4, I do want to go to Exodus 3 and 16 and read this verse. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to start at 13. It says, And Moses said unto the Most High, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, The power or the God of your fathers hath sent me unto you, and they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them? And the Most High said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. So I am, when you go into that precept, let me go real quick. Let's see if I got it right here. I clicked on it on the Blue Letter Bible, and it says Hayah, right? Which we know that the Blue Letter Bible goes off sometimes, but that's what it says. I'm going to play it for you on the Blue Letter Bible. Lord's will, you can hear it.
Strong's H, 1961. Hayah. Hayah.
So that's how you say I am. And it means to exist or exist, to be, to come to pass, to exist. So we know through the Spirit and through our Paleo Hebrew that the name is actually, it's not Hayah, right? It's Yahawah, meaning he exists. That's what Yahawah means in the Hebrew. He exists. So just wanted to bring that out because, people say that we don't have the name. People say that, he has many names. That, but the truth is there's only one name, all right? And its name is Yahawah, all right? Well, first thing, when you meet somebody, the first thing you find out about them is their name. So Moses in Exodus 3, he asked Yahawah, he said, well, what do I tell the children of Israel? What do I tell them your name is? And it says, I am, which is he exists. I am, he exists, he is, which in the Hebrew, through the Spirit and through the power and through the faith, we know is Yahawah, all right? So I just wanted to establish that before I start here in Exodus 4, and it reads in verse 1, And Moses answered and said, But behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice, for they will say, The Lord hath not appeared unto thee. Right? Because people, just like back then, just like now, you have people of the 2/3. Our people, they don't believe, right? They have a lack of faith. They're not going to believe that Moses was a prophet, and neither do they believe that the men that are teaching on the street corners, that the Lord has set up on the street corners, the servants of Yahawah, they don't believe that we're prophets. Verse 2, And Yahweh said unto them, What is that in thine hand? And he said, A rod. And he said, Cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent, and Moses fled from before it. So, Yahawah was getting Moses prepared. He was getting him equipped to go deal with Pharaoh, right? Because Moses, he was just a plain, simple man. And it was Moses that Yahawah chose to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. But he was just a simple man, just like with us. We were just simple men until the Lord called us, into the marvelous light and called us to be prophets, right? We didn't know, just like Moses, he didn't know that the Lord was about to call him to be a prophet, to deliver his people out of ancient Egypt, right? And we are calling our people, or we've been called, and now here we are in spiritual Egypt and, preparing our people for the deliverance. But we know that only the elect are going to hearken, all right? So I'll say in verse 3, or I'm sorry, he turned his rod into a serpent, to a snake. Let's say verse 4. And Yahawah said unto Moses, put forth thine hand and take it by the tail. And he put forth his hand and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand. So he was showing Moses that he had a divination, he had a power with him, and that power was Yahawah, right? So let's keep reading. Verse 5, that they may believe that Yahawah, their power of their fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, hath appeared unto thee. And Yahawah said furthermore unto him, put now thine hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. All right, so this was another miracle or a sign that he showed Moses, so that he was trying to build Moses up so he would know that, hey, you're going to be the one I choose. You're going to be my leader. You're the leader of Israel, who's going to lead my people out of Egypt, to lead them out of bondage, out of slavery, right? So he was showing him signs, trying to build him up. So he took his hand, put it in his bosom, and says, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. So what does that tell you? Leprous, well, that's why we tell you leprosy is actually your skin would be white, just like the so-called white man. Esau, Edom, he's leprous, right? His skin is white, like snow, right? Transparent. The blood shows through. So it says, behold, his hand was leprous as snow. Verse 7, and he said, put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. Meaning his hand became like the color, it was brown, a dark shade of brown, which would be what you would call a so-called black man today, right? Which was normal for the Israelites. Our skin, we were melanated people, right? Verse 8. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe also these two signs, neither hearken unto thy voice, that thou shalt take of the water of the river and pour it upon the dry land, and the water which thou takest out of the river shall become blood upon the dry land. So that was another miracle or sign that Yahawah gave, to Moses, right? Because Yahawah knows our people. Yahawah knows our people are stiff-necked people, stubborn people who don't believe, right? Even today, they don't believe the truth, right? We're out there on the street corners, bidding them to the marriage, right? Bidding them to the wedding, meaning inviting them to the marriage with Yahawah Ba'Shem Yahushai, and they don't believe it, right? Because our people are stiff-necked and hard-headed, as it is written. Verse 10, and Moses said unto Yahawah, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and slow of tongue. So Moses was concerned about all the carnal things, even though Yahawah was showing him spiritual things, and he had already designated him and chose him to lead. Moses was like, man, I'm not the man for the job, He's like, I don't even speak good. That's what eloquent means, that he didn't speak well. His vocabulary, he wasn't an eloquent speaker. And it says he's slow of speech and slow of tongue, right? So he was doubting himself. He was doubting his calling, right? It says in verse 11, and Yahawah said unto him, who hath made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb or deaf or the seeing or the blind? Have not I Yahawah? So now Yahweh's pissed at him like, hey bro. He's like, who's the one who created your mouth? And aren't I the one who makes people dumb, which means you can't speak? Or if I've created the deaf, which they can't hear? You see? He's trying to smack some sense into Moses, or talk some sense to Moses, because no, Moses was not prepared for the job. You know, he didn't feel like he was worthy of that position, right? And then it says in 12, now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth and teach thee what thou shalt say. Right, because let me grab this precept real quick. Acts. Because this is a, Yahawah doesn't call like the, brothers are not dumb. We're not stupid. But, by the standards of society, they don't consider us scholars or they don't consider us educated, even though some of us are educated. And really the best education is these scriptures, right? But they don't consider us to be these educated men of scholarships and men of knowledge. They don't consider us those people. They look at us like bums. They look at us a bunch of niggas and spicks. That thugs. They don't look at us as prophets or servants of Yahawah, right? Let me grab this precept. Okay, Acts 4 and 13. And we are bold because we have the truth, we have the knowledge, right? We have the interpretation of the scripture. So we're bold on the streets regardless of what they think, right? Doesn't matter, right? It's Yahawah that has given us his words, just like Moses. He's putting his words in our mouth, right? So we're not out there speaking our own words when we teach. We're speaking the words of Yahawah B'Shem Yahushua. We're not using our own narrative, okay? So, well, first off, I'll start at Acts 4 and 12. It says, neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved, right? So there's only Yahawah the Father and Yahawashi the Son. Those are the names of salvation. And really, a couple lessons back, I said and I taught you that salvation, Yahawashi means salvation. The name Yahawashi literally means salvation. Okay? He saves, he delivers. And then Yahawah is, he exists. Okay? So to 13. Now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John, who were the elect, the disciples of Yahawashi, it says, and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled and they took knowledge of them, and they had been with Yahawashi. You see that? So this is just like Peter and John. This is how Moses would say, hey, look, I'm not eloquent. I don't speak well. I'm not the man for the job. Well, this is how they look at Peter and John. This is how they look at the servants, the prophets of today. They look at us on the street corner. They don't consider that we're the wise men of the earth. They don't consider that we're the scholars of the Holy Scriptures. They don't look at us and say, oh, these dudes are the smartest men on the planet, even though, technically we are the smartest men on the planet, because the greatest education that you can have is the Scripture, right? It's the best knowledge, the best wisdom, knowledge, understanding that any man can have on the planet Earth. All right? But when they look at us, they don't look at us. They look at us as ignorant, unlearned men, like we read here in Acts 4:13. So that's what Moses, he was like feeling like he was not the man for the job, like he was not worthy, right? Exodus 4 and 12 says, now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. And he said, O my Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him who thou wilt send. So Moses still doubted himself, like, yo, just send somebody else, man. Don't send me, right? And now what happens? Verse 14. And the anger of Yahawah was kindled against Moses, and he said, Is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? I know that he can speak well. And also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee, and when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart, be glad in his mind. And thou shalt speak unto him. He's like, no, I'm picking you. I'm not picking Aaron. I know Aaron's, speaks well. I know Aaron is eloquent. You see? But when Yahweh had chose Moses, hey, he chose Moses. When Yahweh raised up his prophets, we don't question it. When he called us, we don't question it. We just got to roll with it, man. If you're called, the next step is to be diligent and make your calling and election sure. And we don't have to worry about what we're going to say, because Yahawah is going to put his words in our mouth. You see that? That's why even when I'm teaching the lessons, when we're at camps, guess what? Again, Yahawah words are in our mouth. We're not using our own words. You see? Verse, where am I at? Verse 15. And thou shalt speak unto him, and put words in his mouth, and I will be with thy mouth, and with his mouth, and I will teach you what ye shall do. And that's what it is. These words, these lessons, the scriptures, we're being taught on what to say. We're being taught, Yahweh's putting his words in our mouths. And we can't fail when we're speaking the truth. What's the scriptures are the truth. You see? The truth is immovable, all right? Impenetrable. The truth is the truth. The strongest thing on the planet Earth is the truth. That's why we're able to speak with authority on the streets. Because why? Because we're not speaking lies. If we were speaking lies, we couldn't be bold with this knowledge, with this truth. But because it's the truth, and because it's the words of Yahawah B'Shem Yahushai, we are bold and we preach with authority, and the people will be astonished just like they were with Yahweh Shai. All right? Verse 16. And he shall be thy spokesman unto the people, and he shall be to thee instead of a mouth, and thou shalt be to him instead of a God, or a power. Thou shalt take this rod in thine hand, wherewith thou shalt do signs. All right, so Yahweh was, all right, too late. I already chose you for the job. All right, same thing with us, man. Once Yahweh has called us, and you start doing the work, you can't take your hand off the plow, man. All right. Let's see. Let me get a few precepts real quick. Let's see. But yeah, you can't take your hand off the plow. Once you're called into this truth, you'll be the Lord Yahawah. We fear to be put to death if we stop doing the work, And this is what it is, Luke 9:62, it says, And Yahweh Shai said unto him, No man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High, Yahawah, right? So once you go to work, you start doing this work, you start going out on the street corners teaching, you're doing lessons on the YouTube or whatever platform you use, hey, you can't look back. You can't take your hand off the plow. Once you're called into this thing, now we'll be diligent, making our calling and our election sure. All right? But we don't have to worry about what we're going to say, because it's Yahawah, B'Shem Yahushai, that we're going to put the words in our mouths. All right? Let me get another one real quick and I'll close out. let's close out on this. Let's go to Matthew 10 and 19. This is Yahawah speaking, right? Because there's gonna be a time where they're gonna take us off the streets. They're gonna put us in FEMA camps. They're gonna try to put us in prisons, jail, etc. because of our testimony. Esau Edom's gonna show his wrath. It's gonna be illegal to be prophesying on the streets. They're gonna take away freedom of speech, all that, right? But guess what? Even in that scenario, we don't have to worry about what we're gonna say, right? Matthew 10 and 17. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. See that? So this is, we have the faith and we have believed that when we cross that bridge, guess what? We don't have to worry about what we're going to say, because we know that the Spirit of Yahawah Bashem Yahushai is going to be on us, and Yahweh is going to put His words in our mouths, just like He did with Moses. And He's going to do the same thing with His prophets in this age. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close out on that. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rikah Kodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the elect.